Hello Wolfpack, we're back here looking at the cryptocurrency market. Mainly, and the main topic of this video is going to be Ethereum. I suppose not the main topic, but one of the main topics is going to be Ethereum, because Ethereum is up quite a bit recently. I mean, the last daily candle we saw on Ethereum, if we're taking it from candle open to candle close, we had an 11% candle on Ethereum. In the same period of time on Bitcoin, we only had about a 3% candle. And so, when you're looking at Ethereum like that, and generally speaking, while we know Ethereum is the leader of the altcoins, what we've actually seen is altcoins take a bit of a run in the last 24 hours. And why has this happened? Well, it's happened because of the Ethereum merge. The Ethereum devs have scheduled in or penciled in a date for the merge, which is going to be happening in September. We're going to be talking about that more as we approach the date, but it's ultimately is going to be a bit of a bullish piece of information for Bitcoin. Not information, but a bit of a bullish event for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, because otherwise, why would we be going up, right? The market is pricing in that event, and people are getting excited about it. They're buying Ethereum in preparation for it. Generally speaking, when we see events like this, they don't actually end up doing much for the price action when they occur. It's a bit of like a buy the rumor, sell the news event. We had that with the Taproot upgrade to Bitcoin in last November. As you guys would know, in November last year, we actually marked the top on Bitcoin around the same time the Taproot upgrade, which was like I think it was the first Bitcoin upgrade to the Bitcoin network in like 4 years or something, and it did nothing to the price action, right? In fact, we went down. And so the Ethereum merge might actually end up doing something similar to that. It doesn't make sense, but that's generally how it works, right? Because people get very, very hyped up. They buy. When the news is coming out, everyone who's interested gets in, and then when it happens, there's no one left to get in because everyone who's heard about it or has already bought. So that's what happens with Ethereum. And another thing I want to say is that, well, look, honestly, just being objective, we've broken out of an ascending triangle to the upside, okay? We're going straight into resistance for Ethereum at 1,417, okay? That's for horizontal resistance as determined by the volume profile, which I've looked at before. And then, on top of that, we've got a downtrending resistance level stemming from May 15th on 4 separate retests, okay? And it's sitting there, currently it's around 1,600, but it's going to be trending downwards towards 1,400 to support that resistance level. So we're heading into, we've broken up. We've broken up out of an ascending triangle, right? But it's not necessarily driven by actual price action, right? It's driven by kind of hype, right? So that's fragile in itself, as we've seen with meme coins in the past. Hype is very fragile when you're talking about financial investments. And we're heading into strong resistance while Bitcoin lags behind and while the total cryptocurrency market cap is still at resistance. So I would say that at this point, this Ethereum breakout, although it's good for Ethereum in the short term, is actually indicative of the fact that the market's probably going to be rejected. And generally speaking, on top of this, when we see Ethereum and altcoins in general, but Ethereum, because it's the leader of the altcoins, break away from Bitcoin and move faster than Bitcoin, what do we see? We see an altcoin season, right? And generally speaking, when we see an altcoin season, we see Bitcoin crash very soon after, right? So I'm not saying we're seeing an altcoin season right now by any means, but I'm saying that historically, when Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin, it means a crash is on the way, right? And given the fact that Bitcoin is still within its structure, and given the fact that Bitcoin's structure is by no means bullish, it's actually a bearish pennant formation, and given the fact that the total cryptocurrency market cap is rejecting strongly from resistance here at 964 billion, I would hence suggest that this Ethereum move is actually probably not as good as it might seem. And that might come as a shock to some people, but that's just how it is, right? People get caught up very easily when the candles are green and they don't see the fact that, hey, this trend has happened before and generally speaking, it leads to red, right? So if we're looking at the longer term view and why this is very interesting for it to be happening now, really, I mean, the longer term view is very, very intriguing. Okay, what we're seeing right now on Bitcoin, and we've covered this before, but we're going to cover it again, is the 200-week SMA has been lost. The 200-week SMA is the strongest moving average on Bitcoin. I generally call it the moving average because it is the strongest supporting a resistance moving average on Bitcoin. It actually did not, it was held for 16 consecutive months over the entire price history of Bitcoin while being retested without more than 2 weekly candles closes below it until very recently. And right now, you can imagine a support that held for 10 years, maybe 7 years. A support that held for 7 years is probably going to be a very, very hard resistance to crack when you're on the other side of it. And we're on the other side of it right now. We're actually coming up against the 200-week SMA. And this is what I talked about yesterday. We're getting sandwiched, right? Because we've got the 200-week SMA above us, that's resistance, and then below us we've got a very strong support zone. It's not as strong as the 200-week SMA, but it's still relatively strong. It's the macro uptrending support line that we retested in 2015, we retested in 2020, and we're retesting right now as holding for support, right? So we are very, very much getting sandwiched between the 200-week SMA and a macro uptrending support line. And I think this Ethereum volatility coming at this point in time might be indicative of the fact that, hey, maybe within the next couple of weeks, we're going to make a move, right? It wouldn't surprise me. You know, and when we make a move, well, first of all, what are our two kind of, you know, breakout points? Well, I've got these red arrows here which kind of describe it to you. It's like, well, if we break above the 200-week SMA, that would be very bullish for Bitcoin. It might actually mark the bear market bottom. It would send, so 200-week SMA is currently at 22.6k. If we close a weekly candle above that, that might be a breakout, that might confirm the bottom, and that would send us straight into the nearest resistance, which would be 28.6k. And then if we break below the macro uptrending support line, this line should be down here, we would actually be plummeting straight towards the 300-week SMA at 16k, and then after that, more likely, 14k to 12k, which is the next historical support block. So, you know, I suppose the point I'm trying to make is it's very interesting for this kind of, you know, deviation from a normal market trends to happen right now. Ethereum's broken out, left Bitcoin behind, but Bitcoin, which is obviously the leader of the market, is in a bearish structure. It hasn't broken out yet. It's heading up against the strongest resistance zone it's ever faced in its life, which is a 200-week SMA, literally the strongest one it's ever faced. And the total cryptocurrency market cap hasn't broken out yet. So I would say that this Ethereum move driven by hype is not a substantial piece of evidence to assume that the market is going to break to the upside here. I think that, you know, at best, we would get to the 200-week SMA, reject off of it, and then come back down. Now, obviously, my invalidation point for that prediction is very clear, right? If we break above the 200-week SMA, I'm wrong, and then we can buy, right? So this is what I like about this. This is what I like about trading, and this is what I like about, you know, personal investing. It's like, well, on YouTube and Twitter, there's this kind of consensus that if you're wrong about a prediction, you lose money. It's like, no, not necessarily. I have my invalidation points, right? I'm saying we're going to get rejected from a 200-week SMA. If we don't, I'll just buy like 3% higher. So it doesn't actually matter. I'm still making money regardless. And so that's what I like about it. But this situation, in my opinion, a lot of people are quite scared, quite nervous about the situation. I spoke about this in yesterday's video. This situation is actually a pretty good situation, right? It's a pretty good situation because our invalidation point is not much higher than the bottom, right? If we break above the 200-week SMA, we're buying at 23k instead of 18k. Like it's not actually too bad. Generally speaking, for a bear market invalidation point, you're looking at missing out on 40 to 50% gains, right? So this is a pretty good position, not in terms of price action. Obviously, Bitcoin doesn't look too good in terms of price action. My personal prediction, as per the 4-year cycle theory, is we will not bottom out until Q4. And if we do bottom out in Q4, it will most likely be at 12 to 14k, as per the historical support zone in that region. But yeah, it's not too bad right now. I think it just is interesting. And the reason why I made this video is because I do find it quite interesting that this, you know, Ethereum is broken the upside here. We have to remember, even taking the Ethereum chart as face value, which we shouldn't be doing because it's driven by hype, there's a lot of resistance above, and it doesn't necessarily look super bullish, right? So just be careful. Don't chase any pumps here. Nothing's really happened on a macro time frame to you know, make people super bullish. I think right now it's a time to settle down and just chill out, because I can sense the space getting a little bit like, oh, Ethereum's up 10%. That might be the bottom. It's like, that's not really how it works. Ethereum doesn't mark the bottom for Bitcoin. Bitcoin marks the bottom for Bitcoin. And more broadly, the macro situation, honestly, marks the bottom for Bitcoin quite a bit as well. So let's wait and see what happens there. Wolves of Crypto VIP, if you want to gain access to Wolves of Crypto VIP, click the join button on my YouTube homepage and you'll see this kind of tab pop up here, which shows you all the perks you'll receive. Altcoin Trading Signals, which are obviously the main part, right? Extremely profitable, posted every second day. Short and spot positions run through BitGet exchange, which we'll talk about in a second. Prioritized reply to comments, a 2-hour video market psychology, basically going through psychological tips that will help make or break your profitability. Essentially, mindsets, certain mindsets you have to be in to be a trader, because obviously it's not just about skill, right? It's about having the right mindset, having the right psychology. If you're, you know, jumping into this Ethereum rally, for example, you might not have the right mindset. And then access to my trading view charts occasionally whenever I deem it necessary. So go ahead and join that. Highly recommend that. We've got about 200 members in there now, and you guys can become one of them for just 28 USD a month, a bargain. And then moving forward, BitGet Exchange, which is the exchange we use for Wolves Crypto VIP, and the exchange I highly recommend everyone who watches my channel uses. You can sign up using my referral link in the description below. It would be highly appreciated if you did that. And also, it's good for you because you gain access to a reward center where you can gain access to over 4,000 USD in rewards for completing some tasks. It's got futures, half the fees of Binance, and non-KYC. Extremely simple interface, and the coins they offer, generally speaking, well, actually, objectively speaking, are not like, you know, Binance coins, right? Binance literally puts anything on there, regardless of whether a rug pull or not. I've seen many rug pulls happen on Binance, and I've been seeing many liquidation wicks on Binance. I've never seen one single liquidation whip week on BitGet. But the main part, obviously, it's cheaper and there's non-KYC. So sign up to that using my referral link in the description or pinned comment below. And then lastly, the Become a Trader course, 10-unit course from the Crypto Academy, which is developed by myself and Megawell Crypto. You guys would know him. He's a pretty prominent analyst in the space. And we developed this course towards the start of this year, Q1, Q2, released it in May. And essentially it's a 10-unit course that goes over everything you need to know on how to become a trader, everything you need to know on how to conduct proper TA, and how to conduct proper profitable trades competently. If you're interested in that, go ahead and chuck us an email here at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll send you all of the information that's necessary, and then you can make a decision as to whether you want to sign up or not. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you tomorrow with a fresh one. Cheers.